if you're a short lifter with massive legs, you might find yourself identifying with the points that I'm making in this video. So here's the deal. There are some problems that you might be experiencing if you overdevelop your legs as a below average height man. And don't worry, I can empathize with you from one manlet to another. So, the first thing you have to understand is that limb lengths and height play a massive role in bodybuilding. And I'm talking about the appearance here, the aesthetics of the muscle. So typically speaking, the shorter you are, the stockier you are going to appear. Likewise, the taller you are, the more lanky you're going to appear. Now, when you are short, it's easier to fill in your muscles. That's why a lot of bodybuilders are short or average in height. And you typically acquire that awesome stocky effect where your muscles just look bigger than they actually are because you have short limbs, and when you put on muscle, it just looks bigger than it actually is. A great example would be having like really short forearms, which makes them look like massive compared to a tall guy who has freaking forearms down to his ankles, you know? So when you have short limbs, that makes the area look a lot bigger than it actually is. Now, typically speaking, what defines a short man is his leg length. Typically speaking, that will include short femurs. So as a short lifter, once you start training your legs, you will find that they develop rather quickly and they might start to overpower your upper body. But that's not the significant factor here. The central issue is that getting your legs too large will make you look shorter. That's right, you heard it here. And I'm speaking from solid experience, might I say so. When you get legs that are too large, your legs look shorter. It's a nice illusion strategy. You know how some guys, they get so wide that they end up looking shorter? Well, it's the same thing with the legs. When your legs get really, really big, that's the effect that it receives. And what happens is that you end up looking stumpy. You have these large tree trunks, and you look like you're a dwarf. Like, you know those dwarves in World of Warcraft? Ever seen their lower body? That's kind of what you resemble when you overdevelop your legs as a short man. It just doesn't look right. It looks really, really stumpy and not aesthetic whatsoever. Now, if you're competing on a bodybuilding stage, you want your legs to be as big as possible, obviously. But if we're just talking about like as a recreational lifter here, it looks ridiculous in most cases. You just look awful. You just have these huge, huge legs, and it looks so stumpy. And the problem is that when you buy clothes, nothing fits you. Nothing fits you. You cannot buy off the rack. You always have to tailor your shit. I'm speaking again off solid experience here. What's going to happen is this. You will require pants that are very, very large in waist size. Probably over 34 to 36 inches. And for a short guy, that's a large waist. So you're going to have to buy pants with very large waist sizes, which can be very, very droopy around the nutsack area. So you're going to have to wear a belt on top of it. In addition, it's going to be extremely loose around the calves because you don't have calves that are like 20 fucking inches. Because typically speaking, when you buy the higher waist sizes, it makes the calves large as well. Even if you get the slim fit cut, it's still going to be too large around the calves. So you have very, very tight quads, loose as hell calves, and then the length of the pants are going to go really, really past your feet. They're going to be so long, so you have to get a hem done. So you might need to get a hem in two places, the ball sack area and the bottom of your pants. Now, all this can be avoided if you have slimmer legs. Now, I'm not saying you have to have chicken legs now, but you can get a little bit smaller legs. Like for me personally, at some point my legs used to be over 26 inches. It was crazy. I was doing a lot of squats. They just developed like weeds. I have very good leg genetics. And when you have legs that are that big, for a guy my height, it looks fucking stupid. You look really, really bad. So I had to stop squatting completely. And even with that, my legs only went down to like 25 and a half. So even now, they're still too large, and I still experience problems whenever I go shopping. In fact, I wish that my legs were smaller. I wish that my legs were around 23. Because I would look way, way, way better, and I would not have difficulties when shopping. And I would look much more stylish, much more aesthetic. It would just be a more pleasing look. That's why nowadays I don't even do squats or any quad work at all. I barely ever get DOMs. I barely ever get quad soreness. The only thing I really work on is my glutes and hamstrings, because to me that's very important for athletic performance and minimizing knee pain. And it looks good from the back, you know. But in terms of the quad, especially outer quad sweep, if you overdevelop that region, you are going to look way shorter, and you're going to have fucking problems buying off the rack. So that said, my advice for shorter guys is to pay attention to your leg size and recognize that if you are not a competitive strength athlete or bodybuilder, you don't need to have overly huge legs. You actually don't need to do that. And you don't even need to have the strongest legs either, because you don't compete in any type of sport. So if your legs are getting too big, monitor them and make them smaller. That's right. You can make your legs smaller. Just back down the volume a little bit and stay away from exercises that tend to overbulk your legs. For me, that was the barbell back squat. Whenever I do it, my legs get stupid huge. And what sucks for me is that I want to start doing squats again. I want to start doing Zercher squats and front squats. But fuck, man, I know it's going to make my legs huge again. I know they're going to all go over 26. So this is a problem I have to deal with. So you kind of have to like weigh out the pros and cons. If you really want that strength training performance and you love squatting and all that, then so be it. But realize that you will experience problems with the fucking racks when you buy shit off there, as well as looking stumpier. You will look shorter, without a doubt. Your leg is going to look wider, which makes you look like you're closer to the ground. It's just an awful losing strategy, and it sucks. I know right now some tall guys are like, man, you're lucky that you can get that wide leg appearance because it's hard for me. Like typically if you're over 6'2", it's a bit difficult, you know, so you can do as much leg training as you want. Typically speaking, your legs still look somewhat lanky-ish, you know, but when you're short, man, they look much bigger than they actually are. You can have a small measurement, they still look big. So again, if you're a short guy, even a novice, and you have really big legs, feel free to be lazy on your leg training. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. Everybody has different goals. You do whatever you got to do to make yourself happy. But again, I'm speaking from real experience here as a short guy, and I've seen it many times with other short bodybuilders, that it makes your legs look way stumpier. Oh, and one final thing that I forgot to discuss. When you sit down in a fucking chair, you got to spread your legs apart. It's like you're opening up. Like if you bring your legs too close, it crushes your testicles, man. Your quads are going to fucking crush your balls. So every time you sit down in a chair, you got to be the douchebag who's spreading apart all the time. I'm serious. That's something that's causing me problems when taking public transportation, because sometimes I'll be sitting down, my legs spread out, and some dude sits next to me and he's like, you know, he's crunched over to the side. Plus I got wide lats, so I'm like taking a lot of room and shit. So it's not cool when you're on public transportation. You're making other people's lives uncomfortable. Plus it looks fucking douchey there. But yeah, just another side effect. So anyway, look. All I'm trying to say is that as a short lifter, you will look stumpier. You will look way stumpier. Again, your legs are going to look massive. They're going to look awesome bodybuilding-wise, but it might not be the best if you're chasing aesthetics. You want to wear stylish clothing without having to have a fucking belt on and a hem done on your crotch and ankle area. But yeah, man, like that's all I really want to talk about. I know you guys can identify what I'm saying. Everything I'm saying is true here. So give me some more feedback down below. What problems have you observed from being a short lifter? Give me everything, man, because I just touched the surface here. So let me hear it, and I'll talk to you all next time.